And I will say, I have never had more fun in my entire banking career as I'm having right now. And part of it is working for Happy State Bank and laughing and having fun, but also being able to put together an organization that represents the values that I hold dear to me. And that is family first, community, and my job. And the folks that we've associated with at the bank all feel the same way.
Welcome in, everyone, to LoneStarVarsity.com. I'm Zach Long, that is George Watson, and you're on another playoff edition of the Happy State Bank Football Fever as we've now moved on to the second week of the playoffs. And you might have got a break week one. Probably not going to get one week two. A lot of undefeated teams sitting there on these schedules of teams that we cover in our area.
Yeah, and the thing about 4 teams going into the playoffs is most of those third and fourth teams are eliminated in the first round. You get through those guys, say thanks for stopping by, now go to the offseason. But now it's the time for the winners and the real teams to start getting things going and getting into the good games. And we've got a lot of good games, a lot of good playoff matchups going for the second week.
You know, when we talk about this time of year, what you want to do, you want to be peaking. Yeah. You want to be going the right direction. How about the Friendship Tigers? A little comparison here for you, George. They play Palo Duro early in the year. What do we got, 3-point game?
3-point game, 17-14.
How about last week?
Last week, it was over when they stepped off the bus, basically. Just an absolutely surprising game by the Tigers. I thought it would be a much closer game because both you and I knew that Malik Sims was back, the outstanding quarterback for Palo Duro. So we thought, this is going to be a trap game. This is going to be a tough one for the Tigers. No doubt about it. From the opening, first play of the game, Friendship gets a 42-yard touchdown from Tyler Lloyd, and they're off and running and end up winning 49-0 and completely dominated Palo Duro. And I said if they get past Palo Duro, they could make a long playoff run. I'm going to stick by that. The way they're playing right now, they could make a very long playoff run.
They might be peaking right at the perfect time, and that'd be a nice thing to see for Brad Davis and the group out there at Friendship. Right now, though, before we move on into the bulk of our second-round playoff games, how about our Happy State Bank Players of the Week? We got some of those. How about some more basketball? We start first with our female. Yeah,
female, and if the name sounds familiar, Brecklin Wentz, well, yeah, it is familiar. We all know what her brother Parker did for Trinity Christian, and now Brecklin is doing a lot of the same things for the girls' team. They went out to Ponder this last week, won 5 games and won that tournament. She had double figures in every game, and she's only 5'2" and was getting compliments from officials out there saying this is the best basketball player they've ever seen. So that's something, for a girl from Lubbock who's only 5'2" to go out there and make that kind of impression to some officials. And I look for her to be a leader for this Trinity Christian team. They've got a good shot at going back and winning state again this year.
Not a shock of seeing some talent over in the Lions' Den. No. Over to our male athlete, how about Devontae Mathis from Littlefield?
Yeah, Devontae Mathis, an interesting story here, has been a solid two-way player for Littlefield for 2-3 years now, was really used a lot on defense, but last year had cramping problems. We get cramps about halftime, so the coaches had to be judicious in how they used him. You like that word, judicious? Nice long word for our football fans there.
Hey, I'm sure they appreciate it.
Yeah, but so they had to be careful how they used him. Well, he's gotten over the cramps, and now they can feed him the ball for 4 full quarters offensively, defensively, and he did a great job, 235 yards, 4 touchdowns, and they needed pretty much every one of them to get past Brownfield last week. So, yeah, Devontae Mathis, one of the better running backs in our area this year.
They're going to need him this week because they got an undefeated Eastland team. Speaking of that, George, we're not playing around right now.
No.
We got a bunch of football games to get through. We're going to go rapid pick here, try to get through as many of our area teams as we can. Let's start at first with hopefully a big game if the weather behaves itself. Down there in Midland, how about Friendship and El Paso DeVay?
Yeah, Friendship, we talked about them before. They're 11-1 in this round against El Paso teams. I don't see any reason why it can't be 12-1 the way they're playing. Go with the Tigers.
Big test for the Cooper Pirates. They get Abilene-Wiley.
Yeah, conventional wisdom would say take Wiley in this game, because of what they do in the playoffs. This hasn't been exactly the same Wiley team, and we know this isn't the same Cooper team. I want to go with the Pirates. They've been good in this one. I want to go with them.
And then maybe a surprising matchup in round 2. We talk about undefeated teams. These are 2 teams that didn't play very well at times this year, but they're playing well at the right time. Estacado and Snyder.
Yeah, maybe Estacado, by getting this win last week over Perryton, got that funk shook off from the regular season. They beat Snyder in the regular season, rallied to do it. I think they can do it again. I'm going to go with the Mats.
How about a lot of green on the field right here between Wall and Idalou?
Yeah, this is going to be a very tough test for Idalou. Wall's a very good football team down there in the San Angelo area. I think it's going to be a little bit too tough. I think Wall takes this one.
The one we talked about earlier, how about Littlefield and Eastland, undefeated Eastland?
Yeah, undefeated Eastland, quarterbacked by Josh Moylan, whose grandfather played at Texas Tech. An interesting note there. So, yeah, the way Eastland plays, I think they may just be too tough. If Littlefield can control the tempo, they'll be okay, but they've got to stop that passing game. I think Eastland wins.
One of my favorite names in Texas high school football, the Bangs Dragons. Yeah. They get Denver City.
They get Denver City, and I think the fire is going to be taken out of the Dragons. I like the Mustangs the way they're playing. Dominant right now. Go with Denver City.
Post Antelopes, they get a tough task. They get Sonora.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tough test. This game could go either way. Right now, though, I think Post running game is going to be good enough to slow Sonora down. I'm going to go with the Antelopes.
Another one of these tough teams, Crane, they're going to face Abernathy.
Yeah, Crane has a very good running back who is injured last week. Second quarter, may not play this week. If he doesn't, that severely tips the ball the way of the Antelopes. I'm going to go with Abernathy instead.
How about New Deal? The Lions, they're going to get Seymour.
This is the round that we've all been waiting for. We wanted to see if New Deal could get over one and done. They're going to get a tough Seymour Panthers team. I've played against Seymour in the past, so I've got a little bit of a grudge against them, so I'm going to go with the Lions here.
Sundown, who we've learned not to doubt, but they get a tough one, a traditional powerhouse in Windthorst.
Yeah, Windthorst, this is going to be a tough one. We'll see how Sundown comes out of the bye week. They were off last week, didn't get to play. They've had 2 weeks to get ready for this one. I like the way the Roughnecks are playing mentally and physically. I'm going to go with them.
Speaking of tough tasks, how about Sudan? They get Wellington.
Yeah, I know Sudan has been looking forward to this game for a year. They wanted another shot at Wellington. Well, you've got it. It just may be a little bit too much to ask for. I don't see anybody stopping the Skyrockets right now, especially this early in the playoffs. Go with Wellington.
The Jackrabbits of Rawls, they get Booker.
A tough Booker team here and a good Booker team. This is going to be a tough test. Rawls has got to come out early and get it done, but I'm going to stick with the Jackrabbits for at least one more week.
Another interesting game here. How about Seagraves and Groover?
Yeah, this one's interesting. Got moved to Saturday because of the anticipated weather. Seagraves, Corey Kyle just continues to baffle people the way he runs the football. Is just a sophomore. I think he's going to be a little bit too much for Groover. I'm going to go with the Eagles again.
George, that is a ransacked look at our playoff games there. We picked them pretty fast. Yeah. Now we're going to go to the game that we've been looking forward to for 365 days probably. Yeah. In Class 3A, this is our Happy State Bank game of the week. Big time. This one's for blood, and I think that might be an understatement. Yeah. Shallow Water and Monahans.
Yeah, you think we've been anticipating this? I saw a tweet from Jarek Black, the outstanding running back for Shallow Water, not an hour after Monahans won Friday night, so they've been looking forward to it as well. And this is the one that they've kind of been pointing to. This is the one they thought they should have won this game last year. Jarek Black gets hurt in the first quarter, injures his shoulder, and is out for basically the second, third, and half of the fourth quarter. And really, that allowed Monahans to set the tempo and dominate the game, because with Jarek Black in that lineup, he was running all over him. Monahans could not stop him. I look for the same thing again. And the thing is, Shallow Water is actually a better team this year because they've got more balance offensively. Absolutely. With Wes McCutcheon and in the passing game, and he's a good runner as well. So I think that's going to be enough to counter Monahans. I go with Shallow Water in this one. I think they get it done. They keep rolling in the playoffs.
Should be a heck of a game down there in Denver City. Speaking of heck of a games, yeah. Mother Nature says hello football this weekend. Got a winter weather system moving in, and to that I say, heck yes. Bring it on. That's what playoff football in Texas should be about.
Absolutely, and it's already caused some changes in some of the games this week. Sudan and Wellington getting moved to a 4 o'clock start on Friday, up from 7. Same for Rawls and Booker. They're out in Canyon. They're going to be playing 4 o'clock Friday. And now Seagraves and Groover goes from Friday night to Saturday afternoon, still at Whiteface, but they're going to start at 2 o'clock. So there might be some other changes. We'll keep you informed at LoneStarVarsity.com if any of the others creep up this week.
Got to love this stuff. And as he just said, LoneStarVarsity.com, LubbockOnline.com, iPad. Any changes, and of course full coverage. We're going to a whole bunch of games. We're looking forward to a little tour of the South Plains this week. Hope we see some really good football, but until that time, we're going to bid you farewell here on LoneStarVarsity.com. I'm Zach Long. That is George Watson. We'll see you out there in all the fury that Mother Nature can offer.
Yep.